Hello, dear friends. Sometimes one imposes ethical limitations on oneself to adapt to the environment. Opinion piece, self censorship, ethical information, use of euphemisms, political correctness, information challenge. Few words are enough. Be careful what you say. Avoid scatological details. Let's start. Great truths can be transmitted with soft words without the need to lie, because for a good understander, few words are enough. All professional journalists have to adapt to the rules of each platform on which he expresses his point of view in order to avoid problems. This doesn't mean lying or betraying oneself, but rather using the right words to convey the information without offending anyone, because you cannot cover the sun that shines with greater intensity every day. Self censorship consists of limiting or disciplining personal freedom to avoid problems. An example would be giving up on transmitting what is going on in our minds for fear of being called crazy. The greatest danger of self censorship is that by not expressing this feeling or images in words or art, they will then erupt in the form of hatred or violence against oneself or against others. It can be done out of deference so as not to hurt the sensitivities of other people, to avoid legal complaints, or to avoid sanctions from the rulers. Self censorship is often practiced by film producers, film directors, editors, journalists, musicians, or new anchors, among others. Self censorship can also occur to meet the expectations of a particular market, avoiding certain topics that could anger your advertiser or your company as well as protect revenue. This phenomenon is called soft censorship. I learned this lesson when my previous channel was ruined. Ethics. Self censorship without lying or hiding information can be a challenge. Some strategies include avoiding adjectives and judgment of intentions and not hiding important news. Self censorship does not necessarily involve lying or hiding information, but rather can manifest itself through the selection and presentation of news. Ethical self censorship involves being aware of what you share and how it affects you and others. It's a valuable skill for maintaining privacy, setting boundaries, and fostering healthy relationships. This phenomenon is sometimes considered negative for the health of democracies, since it restricts freedom of expression, especially in the media. Self censorship refers to the ability to consciously filter the information you share, ensuring that you not reveal sensitive or unnecessary details without resorting to lying or outright concealment. It consists of concentrating on the essential and important data of each information, avoiding scatological details. It is also crucial to respect the boundaries of others. Don't pressure people to reveal information they don't feel comfortable sharing. Euphemisms. The use of euphemisms can be a way to express ideas or concepts in a less direct or more softened way, but it's important to avoid misunderstandings and respect ethical and social limits. But euphemisms should not be abused to respect clarity in communication, since excessive use of euphemism can be confusing or evasive in certain contexts. Some euphemisms used to avoid censorship include soft or decorous expressions that seek to disguise reality. For example, instead of using direct terms such as kidnapping, you can use retention. Instead of war, conflict can be used. Instead of deep state, we can talk about dark side. And instead of alliance, we can talk about coalition. These euphemisms are often used in journalistic context to prevent a report from sounding too crude or yellowish. although their use can also be associated with political correctness. But the use of euphemisms is not always appropriate, and clarity in communication is essential. Additionally, it is essential to be aware that some situations may require direct honesty, and excessive use of euphemism that can be confusing or evasive in certain contexts. Use these resources with sensitivity and consideration for others. Protests. Farmers for, from France, Germany, Holland, Poland, Belgium, Ireland, Romania, Spain, Portugal, Italy, and other European countries protest with tractors. The forces use tear gas against Spanish farmers. Farmers are angry about high energy prices, regulations designed to bankrupt them, and a grain flood from Ukraine, among other things. Food processing facilities are also being destroyed. Fulford believes that the idea is to control everyone's access to food and turn the world into an animal farm where each sheep will have to undergo control in exchange for food. They intend to bankrupt farmers so that we depend on controlled foods. Failures. The Canadian government is being forced to compensate Canadians who had their bank accounts frozen or were injured during the Emergency Act. The attempt to start a global conflict in Gaza is also failing. The guy who could replace Putin wants that the war with the West would be the end of everything, according to Michael Snyder. The other major failure is the attempt to use illegal immigrants to start a civil war. Dark players are panicking. Economy. 8 world banks ban the dollar. The IMF asks the US for more discipline with spending because the dollar fuels global inflation. According to Benjamin Fulford, people are withdrawing their money from controlled banks. Ford lost $536,000 per hour over the last year on electric vehicles. European countries continue to secretly buy Russian oil and gas. The Iraqi parliament made a statement on January 31st calling for the sale of oil in currencies other than the dollar. China is preparing to take control of the main oil assets in southern Iraq. USA. Donald Trump believes that the world is in tremendous danger, in quotes. Trump would be cooking a trade war against the European Union. Trump wins the Nevada caucus. A more mature MAGA movement prepares for Trump's return. Blackwater co-founder suggests the US should colonize countries that cannot govern themselves, in quotes. It's time to put on our imperialist hats, he said. Ukraine. The Ukrainians used a missile to kill 64 of their own soldiers. Almost 40% of Ukrainians believe their country is going in the wrong direction. Ukraine intends to recruit more than 500,000 more citizens. Citizens abroad who evade it will have their assets frozen. Americas. The Ukrainian army hires Colombian mercenaries. The government of Argentina announces a cut in subsidies to transport companies, public companies. Cuba seeks energy sovereignty through the use of renewable energy sources. Eros. Ben Shapiro condemns Hollywood for selling sex to teenagers. Mark Zuckerberg apologized to the families of victims of sexual exploitation on Facebook and Instagram. Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernandez accused of heresy. A group of 90 Catholic clerics, academics, and authors have published a letter against the blessing of homosexuals. Cosmic Elucidations of the Current Era by Bennett Ross. Cupid was a royal orb in the sky, whose electrical discharges increased libido. He was Eros, the son of Aphrodite and Ares. His influence was fiat. People couldn't control his lesson. Festivals that would get out of hand. This is the origin of Valentine's Day. As you navigate the deep oceans of your intimacy, you drive toward the shores of your most sacred space. Hearts beat in a harmonious tandem, and you sign the Ballad of Union. Science and technology. A European satellite will crash this month and experts don't know where it will fall. Scanwex employ admits to reverse engineering UFOs. Mutant radioactive wolves are key to cancer treatment. Russian scientists reveal breakthrough in hydrogen energy fuel. Esoteric. The new moon in Aquarius today, Friday, February 9th, symbolizes the awakening of the dragon. His message is to empower us to act with integrity, nobility, and above all, courage to remain firm in who we are and in our personal purpose. There is no apocalypse. You are not confined to a prenatal script or model that you must follow. You can now move on whatever timeline seems best to you, and all of those timelines include contact and ascension experiences. That means everyone can relax. The apocalypse is not coming according to the Andromeda Council through Daniel Scranton. According to Christine Day, you are the base of a big change in your world. A number of energetic structures have been placed and activated in the Earth's network. This event is set for a shift in consciousness that is destined to take place towards the end of this month. A call is made to those of you who are on the path to prepare your systems in plural, for the great winds of change that are about to enter the planet. You must spend moments concentrated within your heart. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.